Welcome everyone to Krannert Art Museum Yoga. I'm Jodi. Thanks for joining me. Happy Friday, happy fall. Changes in the air, so hopefully you're making adjustments accordingly with your diet, lifestyle, stress management, lots of things happening, lots of shifts, lots of changes. So doing grounding poses, eating more warming, nurturing foods can be really helpful in this shift that we're experiencing. So your practice is even more important, especially in these transitions. And again, a lot of balasana, the child's poses, a lot of the strong standing poses can be really healing and supportive during this time, especially with this being the Vata season, according to Ayurveda. It's again that season of change and shift and kind of volatility if we don't contain that energy. So this practice can be a really great way to do that. So today, we're going to start seated. So making sure that you've got a blanket, a couple blocks can be nice. You can have a strap. Sometimes I use all of these things in the practice. Even if your teacher doesn't necessarily cue for them, you can always use them, especially if you know your body and you know what you need. So we're just going to start seated. So you can have a comfortable cross-legged seated position. You can kind of start to shift a little from side to side. Maybe working into the glutes, working into the hamstring attachment points, into the pubic bone, pelvis. Notice if there's any resistance to the movement. Noticing a little outer hip, especially on my right side, chronically tight. You can start to tilt the pelvis forward and back, more towards the back of the sit bones and the tailbone, and then more towards the front of the pubic bone. And then just kind of settle into your seat. From this strong foundation, you can grow the spine a little taller, taking some rolls through shoulders up, back, and down. Noticing the breath as we begin to move the body. One more time, rolling through shoulders. Keep the chest open, relax the shoulders, relax the arms. The hands can rest on thighs or knees. Palms can be up or down, just depends on how this makes you feel. And thinking about the chin just being more parallel to the earth, drawing the chin slightly in. And that way the weight of the head is balanced on the spinal column. You can close the eyes here if that feels safe, as you welcome yourself to your practice. Beginning to check in with your breath. Relax your jaw, your lips, your tongue. Relaxing around the muscles of the eyes. Begin to notice the breath in the nostrils and the throat. Think about opening up the inner throat, receiving your breath into the chest. Breathing into the rib cage, feel the expansion there. Breathing into the back body. Just bring the awareness into the back, into the spine. Breathing into the belly. So you can let the outer belly just be soft. Bring the breath into symmetry. So the inhalations just begin to match your exhalations. So you can breathe together. So go ahead and finish an exhalation and we'll breathe just to a count of 3. So inhale, 2, 3, exhale, 2, 3, inhale, 2, 3, exhale, 2, 3, inhale, 2, 3, exhale, 2, 3. Increase that to 4. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Continue this breath on your own. Decrease the breath if it's too much strain or force. Keep it symmetrical, even. Continue to flow awareness through the body as you breathe. One more cycle of breath in this symmetrical breathing pattern. And then you can start to increase your exhalation. So breathing to a count of, inhaling to a count of 4, maybe exhaling to a count of 5. Just see if that's available to you. You can always increase that even more or decrease it, but just one more count on the exhalation. That grounding energy. There's no forcing, just allowing the breath, allowing the exploration of breath. You can even start to notice the pauses in between the breath. Coming through one more cycle of this breath. And then after your next exhalation, just return to a natural rhythm of breath. Notice it might take a few cycles to return to that breath. And ask yourself what you need from this practice. Let the answer become your intention, your guide, sealing that by bringing palms together at the heart, bow the head to the heart. You begin to interlace the fingers. From here, just press the palms away, nice and slow. Take your time. You can round the upper back body, relax the shoulders down. Might feel good to start to move the head, gently sway from side to side, just breathing. Notice any stickiness, any resistance here. Just creating some movement. Begin to warm the body. One more time, just a gentle sway of the head from side to side. And then begin to inhale, lift the heart, bring the palms in towards the heart, and then flip the hands around, the knuckles facing forward, rounding, exhaling. More on the backs of the sit bones, and then inhale, reaching forward, align the spine, maybe arch the spine, and then exhale, palms reaching forward, tuck the chin, tuck the tailbone, inhale, open through the chest, squeeze the shoulder blades, lift the elbows, and exhale, round. Knuckles towards the front of the room. And one more time, just like that, inhaling. And exhale, palms forward, rounding forward. Begin to lengthen the spine, keep the palms as they are. Start to draw the biceps by the ears, palms reaching skyward as much as you're able without forcing. Shoulders might still be tight. Think about rooting the arm bones in the shoulder sockets. And then start to creep the shoulders up towards the ears like I always tell you not to do, and then draw them back down. One more time, lifting. Think about lengthening through side bodies. Really reaching taller than you think you can, and then exhale, grounding. Relax the shoulders, just floating the arms down alongside the body. You can float the palms alongside the hips, and then we'll take a moment to lengthen through the legs. If you're still on your blanket, that's fine. I just like to slip my fingers, my palms under the blanket. And then, again, we're gonna arch the spine, press into the earth, lift the gaze, inhale. Reach the tailbone back behind you, and then exhale, rounding. You can bend through the elbows. Elbows hug in towards the midline, kind of like a reverse chaturanga. And then inhale, creating that arch spine, open heart, squeeze shoulder blades, deepest breath, and then exhale. Tuck the chin, tuck the tailbone, maybe draw the low belly in and out as you bend through elbows. A couple more times like that. Think about lengthening in the spine. Pressing into fingertips, pressing into knuckles, exhale. The next time you arch the spine, we're gonna stay there and breathe there. Collarbones spread, heart shining skyward. You can point the toes or flex the feet, a little bit of energy between the legs, zipping together. Make sure the neck feels safe. Activate back body muscles to open the front of the body. One more breath here. And shifting the gaze forward, you can come off of the palms and then come off of the support. So if you're on the blanket like I am, that way we get more of that self-massage sensation. Palms can stay alongside the hips and just a little bit of a movement. Think about just shifting the hips a little from side to side. And then you can start to go deeper, sway the knees from side to side. Again, really feel the earth, feel the support, feel the ground under the palms. Think about the knees releasing towards the earth, even if they don't quite touch down. I know my hips are generally tight, so they don't touch down right away, and that's okay. And then releasing the knees over to that right side. You can tuck the left shin underneath you. Make sure that's comfortable for you. Keeping that left hand to the shin, the right hand just relaxes on the thigh or the knee, and start to just shift the weight over to that right side, including the head. So let the head be heavy to the right. You can start to rock the head back and forth if that feels good. Soften through the jaw, relax the tongue, and breathe. You can start to turn the gaze down, chin more towards the collarbone. You can start to make slow circles with the nose. Getting into the full range of motion of the neck. Over time, maybe the circles become bigger. And you can start to circle in the opposite direction. Breathing. And then finding a place of stillness, a place of need, that sweet spot. Just breathing into that space. Think about creating space in the body. One more breath. And you can align the neck with the rest of the spine, tall spine. You can begin to shift a little so that you can free that left leg and extend it out. And from here, just a little bit of flex and point through that foot, free the energy. That can be a lot of that deep compression in the joints from that deep bend in the knee. So just kind of free the energy into the extremities. You can roll at the ankle. Make sure there's no tingling or tension there. Roll in the opposite direction. Still the movement, spread the toes. And as you relax through the toes, think about firming the quad so you can actually engage the quad and you can watch the kneecap lifting. So allow that to happen. See if you can engage there. And then bow forward slightly, tent the fingers alongside the leg, draw the low belly in and up. You can point the toe or flex the foot. See if you can just lift the leg, maybe even just lift the heel away. The further away from you that you go, the harder it is. So closer, a little bit more accessible. We're just going to pulse it for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Swing around, right hand alongside the right hip. And we're going to stretch those hip flexors. So lift up. It's almost like that side plank that we always do. You're on the right shin. And I'm actively reaching through the side body. Grounding as much as I can, making contact with everything on the earth. Strongly. Again, you can arch through the back, make this more of a front body opening. You can arch more to the right side, making a side body opening. And breathe. One more inhalation here, reaching long. And then use your exhalation to reground the hips. Sit bones ground. Go ahead and sweep forward. And then the left fingertips to the pinky toe edge of the foot. See if you can reach the right hand to the outer edge of the foot. And rotate. Keeping the quadricep engaged. And again, you can play with flexing and pointing the foot, See what that offers you. You can play with arching and rounding the spine. And then finding what you need here. Maybe even crisscrossing at the wrists. We're not going for a deep stretch. We haven't really warmed the body. We're just preparing the body for more. And draw the low belly in and up. Relax the neck and breathe. Think about lengthening through the spine. 2 more breaths here. Bring the hands to the inside of that outstretched leg. Stay low to the ground. Start to walk the hands, the heart, the torso towards the bent knee and beyond. Past the thigh. Start to align the spine. You can tent the right fingertips alongside the hips and the left hand to the right thigh. Inhale, find length. Exhale, find rotation. Gazing over that right shoulder. Breathing here. Again, soften in the jaw, release any tension, any gripping. 1 more breath. And just start to release out of this twist. And start to lengthen through both legs. You can pump the backs of the legs out of the earth. You should have 2 very different feeling legs. You can rock legs back and forth. Again, maybe a little bit of movement in the ankles. And just rebending knees, replanting feet. Windshield wiper the legs from side to side. A little more freedom of movement, hopefully. I know my knee is releasing down a bit more, so I've opened up those hip rotators. See what you can notice about your own body. And then we're just going to release the knees over to that left side. Again, you're going to tuck the right shin underneath you. I'm on the top of the right foot, but do make sure that feels good for you. Taking hold of the shin with the right hand, and then just kind of sink the weight over to that left side. Left arm is just relaxed. So we're tractioning that shoulder down, getting that beautiful stretch into the trapezius, maybe into the sides of the neck. You can start to rock the head back and forth. Relaxing into the jaw, into the face. Still breathing fully. Keeping that awareness of the breath, using that in your practice. And rotate the gaze, the chin more towards the collarbone. Breathing here. Starting to trace circles with the nose. Slow and small. Maybe over time those circles get bigger as the range of motion in the neck increases through movement. You can start to explore circling in the opposite direction. And then finding stillness, finding that sweet spot. What do you need here? What did you find along the way? A few breaths there. One more breath. And then aligning the neck with the rest of the spine. Take your time. You're simply going to extend through that right leg out. The sole of the foot is in towards the inner thigh. And again, just a moment here, freeing the energy, especially if you're not used to having that much compression in the knee joint. Just releasing all of the energy into the extremities. Snap, crackle, pop from my ankle, rolling in the opposite direction. So we're always talking about freeing up the hip flexors, freeing up the psoas. They can compress, especially if we're sitting all day, but it's also nice to have that engagement and strength. We want that. So we're going to build that by doing this. It's not fun. It feels a little bit like torture, right? So you can try to tent the fingers alongside the knee, draw the low belly in and up, watch the kneecap lift as you engage that quad, try to lift the leg, even if it sucks. And then we're gonna do that for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Beautiful. Spinning that palm around, left palm alongside the left hip, sweeping the right arm up, again arching the back, reaching long through the spine. Maybe the foot has to ground, the right foot, or maybe coming more onto the toes. Shift the hips forward, engage through the glutes. Great pec stretch, so chest is opening. Side body stretch, bicep by the ear, keep breathing. Reaching longer than you think you can. Extend beyond your own physical self. One more inhalation. Beautiful. Reaching, and then exhale. Staying low to the ground with the heart, with the hand sweeping around. You can tent the right fingertips alongside the outer edge of the foot, and then the left hand reaches to the pinky toe edge of the foot. So you can find that rotational quality in the spine. Then maybe crisscross at the ankles as you reach forward. And again, we're not getting a huge stretch here. Just finding some opening. Make sure the neck doesn't feel strained or stressed. Still engaging that quadricep. You can reach forward with an engagement of the low belly to create that space. That compressive energy between the thigh and the belly. And again, here, playing with flexing and pointing. The more I flex, the more I feel that in the back of the leg might be too much. You can arch, and with the tailbone releasing away from you, you feel that more in the hamstring, hopefully. But the rounding, it's a lot less. So just guide what you need in your own practice. You can always close the eyes. Simply breathe. One more breath. Again, stay low to the ground. The hands come to the inside of that outstretched leg. You can start to rotate the spine. Walk the hands, the heart, the torso towards the bent knee, then beyond the thigh. Start to lengthen the spine. Stay active in the right leg. Left hand to the earth, right hand to the thigh. Inhale, find length. Exhale, find rotation. And bring the gaze more over that left shoulder without forcing. Think about a spiral in the spine from the crown of the head, the tailbone through the crown of the head, that uplifted energy. One more breath here. Releasing the twist, but see if you can come into a down dog from here. So you're just lifting the hips, kind of rolling over. Maybe you start in a tabletop, maybe you start in child's pose, and curl the back toes under, aligning both legs. Go ahead and paddle out through feet whenever you arrive in your down dog. Take your time exploring this shape. One more breath. And go ahead and release your knees to the earth. So everyone's favorite, some Chaturanga Push-Ups. So you can spread through the fingers, round the spine, engage the core, tuck the tailbone, shift the weight forward into the fingertips, keep all of that, and lower down only so much that you can press back. So maybe it's just a little bit. See if you can do that just a couple more times. Maybe the nose touches down, it doesn't have to. So just one more time. And then pressing back into your child's pose, give it a rest. Inner big toes touch, knees can go wide, forehead to the earth, or to stacked hands, depending on what you need. A few breaths here. One more breath. Begin to press the palms under the shoulders, coming up to your tabletop position. Just working into the wrists and the forearms a bit more. Start to angle the fingers so they face the side walls. Each time you move the hands, see if you can pour a little bit of weight into the fingertips. Angle the hands so the fingers face the rear corners of the room or your mat. Again, see how much weight you can pour in. Nothing should hurt. Angle the fingers or the hands so the fingers face towards you, towards the knees. Spin the hands around. Maybe the fingers face in towards one another. And then finding what you need. For me, it's often the fingers facing in towards the knees, but they can angle out, maybe towards those corners a bit more. You can soften through the elbows a bit, but see if you can flow through a couple cat-cows here. Deep, even breaths, nothing forced. You want to calm the nervous system, feel your ground, sense your breath. One more time, one more deep inhalation. And exhaling completely. And start to walk the hands so the fingers face forward once again. And walk the hands out. We're going to come into puppy pose. We're going to ease into that. So be in no hurry, wrists in line with shoulders or wider. So we want to think about the hips staying above the knees, inhaling here. And then exhale, think about lowering the chest to the earth. Maybe resting on the chin or the forehead. And then press the palms into the earth, engage the core, float back up. That's your inhalation. And then exhale, sinking back down. Think about the inner thighs rotating back towards your heels. Inhale, lifting. Kitty's getting in on this. Exhale, sinking low. Press the palms into the earth still, so we're not just resting in this. One more time, inhale. We're warming the shoulders in this way. And exhale, we're going to stay here for just a few breaths. Again, chin or forehead to the earth. You can think about collarbones spreading. You can keep the pressure of the palms pressing into the earth. Make sure you're able to breathe. Just one more breath here. And tone through the core as you shift forward, coming into your Sphinx pose. So the elbows are below the shoulders, the heart is open, forearms more parallel to one another. And from there, think about reaching the heart forward. So you're actually dragging the hands, the forearms, the elbows back to the hips, reaching the chest forward, collarbones spreading. From here, curl the toes under and lift the knees. Keep the heels in line with knees, knees in line with hips. Engage the glutes, lift the thighs away from the earth. Start to peel the belly away from the earth and float up to forearm plank for 3. Breathing for 2. Last 1. You can lower down slowly with control. Back into your Sphinx pose. Reach long through the toes, reach open through the heart. Draw the shoulders away from ears. One more breath here. And then again, curl the toes under, lifting the knees, lifting the thighs. Start to peel the belly away from the earth, lifting up to forearm plank for 5, 4, 3, tone the legs. 2, maybe lower the hips a little. 1. And lower knees, thighs, belly, come all the way down. Elbows can splay to the sides. Inner big toes can touch. You can rest either cheek on the hands or the forearms. And just breathe. Breathe into the belly. Relax into the back. Maybe shifting the hips a little from side to side if there's any tension in the low back. You can also bend the knees and sway the legs from side to side. From there, Send the legs away nice and long. Send the arms long. Forehead to the earth. I'm gonna back up a little bit so I don't hit things. All right. So from here, I'm gonna keep my head lifted, but your forehead's gonna be to the ground. Otherwise you won't be able to hear me necessarily. Go ahead and float the right arm and the left leg. Forehead releasing to the ground. That's your inhalation, reach long, and then exhale, soften. Reach long, left arm, right leg, length to lift. And then soften and release back down. So we're engaging glute, hamstring, shoulder, inhale, right arm, left leg. Relax that back down. Reach long, left arm, right leg again, as long as you can. Back down. One more time from side to side. Reaching, lifting. Exhale, relaxing. One more time, left arm, right leg. Relaxing back down. Bend the elbows to the sides, rest the opposite cheek on the hands of the forearms, inner big toes touch. Finding any kind of back release that you need. Again, maybe the hips just shift from side to side. Maybe you bend the knees and sway the legs gently from side to side. Breathe here, soften here. This is your rest before we move on. From here, again, forehead to the earth, stretch the arms long. So that Superman stretch, wrists in line with the shoulders. So this time we are going to move everything. So you're going to lift the arms, lift the legs, lift the head, lift the chest for 5. Reach long for 3. Oh, that's 4. For 3, 2, neck is neutral. 1, palms under the shoulders. Stay lifted in the chest. Round the spine, engage the core, shift back, child's pose, resting the low back. Forehead again to the earth, or to stacked hands. You're just finding your grounding pose here. One more breath. And stretching long through the arms, wrists in line with shoulders. Lift the gaze to fingers, lift the hips away from heels. Begin to come into downward facing dog. Inner big toes come together to touch, press the mat away. You can start to lift the left heel skyward for 5. Touch the toes back down. Lift for 4. Keep breathing for 3, 2, last one. You can lower that foot down and then the right leg lifts for 5. Engage the glute. 4. Really using the hamstrings for 3, 2, last one. Just step the feet out wide, start to walk the hands back and soften through the knees. Just a forward fold. So we've toned and warmed the hamstrings, but still have soft knees. You can spread toes, broaden through the feet. Maybe sway the head or sway the torso from side to side. You can shift forward into toes, back into heels, or just be still. Just 3 more breaths here in your version of this inversion. Bending the knees, bring your hands to your thighs, wrap the fingers around the kneecaps, sink the hips even lower. Pressing into the thighs. See if you can lengthen the spine first and then lengthen the legs. So you come through standing, feet about hip distance apart, mountain pose, just taking some rolls through shoulders, up, back, and down. And standing in your mountain pose, strong and stable, grounded. releasing any tension. Just bring awareness into the breath, into the body. And so from your mountain pose, we'll actually establish mountain pose at the top of the mat. If you have your blocks and you want to use them, by all means, we're going to come into some lunging. So these can be nice to have. You can also use a table, you can use a chair, you can use books if you don't have blocks. So hands to the hips. The left foot's going to ground, so you're just going to spread through the toes, broaden through the sole of that foot. Go ahead and lift the right thigh into the belly, draw the knee skyward, keeping the heel close to the glute, and then start to shift the weight of the torso forward, start to extend that right leg back, and see how softly and slowly you can land onto the ball of that foot and wiggle the toes back, making sure the feet stay nice and wide. So it just starts to bring the awareness into the foundation of this. So everything that's making contact with the earth. Start to bend the knee, tuck the tailbone, engage the core, engage the glute and your hamstring, and then start to lengthen through that leg. And then bending, tucking, and extending. So I'm recognizing my hamstring or my hip flexor is super tight today. So starting that bend and extend with that glute engagement, bending and extending. Stay here, sink the hips low, open through the heart. Just breathe. So really keeping that hamstring engaged, keeping the glute engaged, keeping the low belly drawn in. One more breath here. And then you can shift the weight forward, freeing up that back leg, and start to draw that knee up again. Thigh into the belly, heel into the glute, knee reaching skyward, inhale, and then exhale, release the foot down. So the right foot grounds, so spread the toes, broaden through that foot, driving the left knee skyward, thigh into belly, heel into glute. Starting to shift the torso forward, keeping all of that engaged as you start to extend that left leg back. See how softly you can land on the ball of the foot, wiggle toes back, sink hips low. Start to tuck the tailbone, draw the low belly, bend through the knee, engage through that back glute, and extend through the leg, and then bend, round, curl in here, and then extend. A couple more times, bending, engaging, extending. One more time. Curling in and extending the legs, sink the hips low, open through the heart. Draw the low belly in and up, really active through that back leg, active through that back glute. Just breathe. One more breath. You can shift the torso forward, freeing up the back leg. And again, see about balance as you drive that left knee skyward, thigh into belly, heel to glute, inhale. Exhale, releasing the foot down. Standing in your mountain pose, arms alongside the body. Just checking in, resetting. So we'll add on to that. Left foot grounds, right knee up. Same principles apply, shifting the right weight forward, driving the right leg back, landing softly. Establish the foundation, engage everything, arch through the spine, lengthen through the spine, reaching the biceps by the ears. So we really want to find length, to find that lift, find that opening, still engaging that right glute, sink the hips lower, arch the back more if available to you. One more inhalation here. And then as you exhale, reaching forward, right hand to the inside of the front foot. You can sweep the left arm down, back and up, coming into a twist. We can play here. You can start to shift the weight more onto the pinky toe edge of the right foot. Start to extend the left leg back, side plank. Lengthen through the spine, keeping that length coming into plank. You can vinyasa here. So forward into chaturanga, cobra or up dog. Exhale, down dog. Starting to walk your feet towards your hands. Inhale, lifting halfway, monkey pose. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise. And palms touch. Arch the spine, hands to the heart. Checking in for a moment. Just breathing here. Off camera, my cat's being very naughty, just an FYI. All right, hands to the hips. We're gonna do that right side. So right foot grounds, drive the left knee up, inhale. Exhale, heel to the butt as you extend the leg long, landing softly. Coming right into this pose with all of that engagement, the glute, the quad, the core, spinal, opening, lengthening, reaching. So see how much more you can sink, and from that foundation, how much more you can open and expand the upper body, keeping everything engaged, the glute. One more inhalation. Exhale, framing that front foot, but keeping the left palm to the inside of the foot, sweeping the right arm down, back, and up in the twist. Keep drawing the low belly in and up, stack the shoulders. You can come to more of the outer edge, the pinky toe edge of the left foot, and with that stability, extend the right leg out. Side plank. One more breath here. Coming into plank. You can vinyasa or skip it. Inhale forward, exhale lower down. Inhale cobra or up dog. Exhale, your choice. It's down dog or child's pose. So sometimes I like to mix it up, each time different. Just a resting pose here, finding what you need. Reconnect to the breath. One more breath. We'll meet together in down dog. And start to step your feet forward, finding that forward fold, feet in symmetry. Inhale, lift halfway up. Exhale to fold, engage the core. Inhale, rising, palms touching. Exhale, hands to the heart. Mountain pose again at the top of the mat. And from here, we'll just flow to the ground. Vinyasa, so finish an exhalation. As you inhale, sweep the arms up, open the heart, slightly arch the spine. Keep all of that length as you exhale, hinging forward at the hips. Still strengthen back, body, and core. Inhale, lifting up with that strength halfway. Exhale, bend the knees, plant the palms, stepping back. We're in plank, the top of a push-up. Take a deep inhalation here, maybe knees to the earth. As you exhale, again, shift forward as you lower down, slower than you want to. Inhale, cobra or an up dog. And then exhale, your choice. It's down dog or child's pose. So what do you need here? Just allowing that to happen. A few breaths, resetting. One more breath. And let's all meet together, seated on shins. So from here, you can simply shift your hips to one side, sweep the legs out in front. Make sure there's plenty of room back behind you. Bending knees, planting feet, bending a tall spine. Hands can come to the backs of the thighs, really lengthen the spine, open the heart. You can keep that as you bow back slightly, maybe shins parallel to the earth, maybe arms parallel to the earth. You can even lengthen through the legs, lengthen more through the arms. Either way, we're coming onto our backs. It's a slow, controlled release. So whatever you choose, however you transition, it's your challenge for the day. Slow and controlled the whole way down. Stretch long once you arrive. Take a deep breath here, maybe a cleansing breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. Bending one knee, then the other, draw them in. You can stretch arms to a T alongside the body, inhaling. Exhale, the legs over to the right, gazing to the left. Beginning to melt into the earth again, feel your support. Feel a sense of release. Soften into all of your tight places. One more breath. Gazing skyward, you can float the left knee, followed by the right knee, over to the other side. Knees to the left, gazing to the right. Open heart. Again, just melting a little, surrendering into gravity. Easy breaths. One more breath. And gazing skyward. Take your time. Floating the right knee, followed by the left. You can, again, just hug knees into the chest, maybe rocking a little from side to side. Or you can come into more of a happy baby. Feet skyward, a deep bend in the knees, reaching for the pinky toe edges of the feet. Whatever you need to finish your practice. And start to transition into your final rest. So legs can go long, feet as wide as the mat. Maybe you have a bolster for underneath the knees to support the low back. Arms alongside the body. You can tuck the shoulders away from the ears. Finding alignment in the spine. Closing the eyes. Allowing yourself this time to simply rest. Begin to deepen your breath. Bringing flickers of life back into fingers and toes. And open and close the mouth. Rocking the head gently from side to side. Take your time, starting to bend one knee, then the other with the feet plant. It feels good, stretching the arms overhead. Full body stretch. Maybe yawning, maybe breathing into a deeper breath. Take your time. Start to roll gently to either side. So supporting your head with your arm. Belly soft, knees bent. Roll the chest and the belly more towards the earth, using the strength of your arms as you begin to press up to seated. Just a comfortable cross-legged seated position. Just like we started. Feeling the grounding of the sit bones, the length of the spine. Sensing your breath. Recalling your intention. Keeping that with you, or something new, something to support you throughout the rest of your day. Bring your hands to your heart, sealing that within. A moment to acknowledge this practice in gratitude. Acknowledge yourself in gratitude for keeping this commitment, for doing the work. And I'm grateful for the honor to lead and guide you through this practice. Namaste. Thank you. I hope you feel better. Thanks for joining me. I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day. And we will see you next week. All right.